you want to sit here. Let's find, there'll be a short intermission of about 30 seconds. Okay, I'm conscious that I stand between you and the traffic on the ring road. So I'm going to try and get through this in about 4 or 4.5 minutes. All I wanted to do was to point out that that there are 1 or 2 things that we haven't talked about, the kinds of things that are taken for granted in precision. And I must declare an interest. It's in no way is it comparable to ASEAL, but I have to declare an interest because I've just invested and started up a calibration company in Yorkshire, in Hull, not Sheffield unfortunately, and with my son-in-law, and so the slip gauges have already been rejected. If you want a spare set of obsolete slip gauges for the Woolly collection, you can have ours. They were condemned last week. So I have precision and measurement on my mind. All I want to do is to make 3 or 4 quick points and then say some thank you. The first one is that there has been, throughout these papers, a phenomenal trajectory of increasing precision. So as someone put it beautifully, what was precision engineering sort of last year is now general engineering this year. And I'm going to say something about that. The extreme case, which is discussed in the book exactly, that someone else has referred to, is the case of trying to pack more transistors onto chips. And ASML, the Dutch company, are arguably the leaders in this field. And as someone has already said, they've moved on to extreme ultraviolet lithography, and you're talking about people producing things to circuits to 13.5 nanometers. Now that is almost the ultimate in precision, 1,000 millionth of a meter. This is a part of an ASML fab plant. It's a lovely business course case study, and that's what the new large fabs look like before they're diced up. But of course this would literally have billions of circuits on it, billions of circuits within that large fab. The second point that I would like to make, which we also take for granted, is the emergence of units. And the last closing discussion has highlighted that beautifully, because there is, of course, universal adherence to SI units everywhere except AECL. It's the Americans who are the exception, but we take the emergence of units, not just weight and length, but also the other one that's been discussed at this conference is measures like roughness and tolerance. And that has also emerged alongside precision. One thing that has not been mentioned, other than briefly in passing, is the emergence of standards which have allowed people to pursue precision engineering. The ISO is actually not that old, although it did have a predecessor. It's founded in 1947. There's obviously a comparable one for electronics. There are currently, when I last looked, just under 23,000 standards from ISO. This is a phenomenal piece of international collaboration because it's all based on consensus expert review. We again take that for granted, but that is one of the key features that underpins the modern precision economy. And finally, I would say this, having just opened a calibration company. Incidentally, the revenue in the first month does exceed the costs, which is just what we want. Precision is nothing without accurate measurement. We've heard about the Lord Chancellor. The joke in the calibration business is Pharaoh's arm, 1 cubit long, and the standard is the length of the Pharaoh's arm, or of course the National Physical Laboratory, as we've already heard. And the crucial point here is that the people that do the calibrating, the master that they calibrate against, must be much more accurate than the unit under test. That's something that we again haven't mentioned in this precision conference. But what I would mention in this precision conference is to say some very warm thank yous. We open with thank yous There was a committee that organised this all. We've already said a very warm thank you to Tim Brown, but I think without Tim's crazy idea and love of Brahma, we wouldn't have had the exhibition, and that inspired the conference. And so Tim, you're an inspiration to us all. This is wonderful, thank you very much. And I personally am going to come back for a third time to see the exhibition. To Kelham Island Museum for hosting the event, it's proved an ideal venue. To the Hawley Trust, thank you very much for giving it so much support, and the Beacon Society. Frank's been a very generous treasurer, he's modestly hid that. And thank you very much all for coming, a very safe journey home. Thank you.